Hi guys, it's Belle here and it is day 15 of hashtag Creep on June 24, created by the wonderful Tracy Fox. Please do go check out her link to her channel down below. She has created a playlist for Creep on June for the collaborators and a few other videos. And don't forget to use the hashtag to check out what everyone's doing. So today, this is the ephemera base, this beautiful tag, and it is beautiful. But today's video, well, today's project was inspired by something that I saw Witchcraft Do You Do Day 7, and Tina, I want to say Gilbert or Gilbert, I don't know if it's French. I'm sorry if I've said that completely wrong, but her Day 8 project, I will link those two down below as well. And they basically did their own versions. Mine's going to be more like Witchcraft Do You Do's Day 7, the way she did it. But they basically did a version of having a picture, but then you could remove that picture or add that picture and it would get a spooky picture underneath. You know, a bit like those holographic images you can buy for Halloween, where if you look at it one way it's a normal face and you look at it another way it's creepy. It's kind of a version on that, and I was so inspired. So we're going to do my version of that. This tag is beautiful, this base, but it's too pretty. So the first thing I want to do is I want to distress it with some inks. So I always like to spray the tag first a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit, just to dampen it so that it takes the inks better. And we're going to start off with some walnut stain on here. I think I need to re-ink my walnut stain because it seems to not be doing. Now, I want more on the back of this because we're not going to see as much of the front. But I do just want to grunge it up a little bit, make it grungier. So that is that. And now let's dry that off. I'm just using baking paper because I like to use this. I've got plenty of it, and I like the fact that it often gets coloured with inks and things, and then I can use it in my journal. I'm going to add a little bit of the the walnut stain. Most of these are oxides, but the black soot is a distress ink, just to let you know. So I'm going to add a little bit of hickory smoke, bring in a little bit of grey in this. I do love the hickory smoke. Like so. Now I am going to just dry that a little bit before we add the other two colours. Okay, so I've just dried that a little bit. I'm going to do, I haven't tried this for any of the others, but I've got some bundled sage and I just want to add the smallest amount of green onto here. I don't even know if it will show up that well, to be honest. It doesn't look like it's showing up that well. I have got a darker one. I thought this lighter one would work best to begin with, but maybe the darker one would work better. Let's do that. And let that settle for a minute. And I think, realistically, that might be all I want to do. I was going to add a little bit of black soot, but now I'm looking at it and I'm wondering if I need the black soot. Yeah, that green didn't really show up. Let's try. Oh, it's just light. Let's try. I've got some pine needles. This might be too much. I am so scared, guys. That's why I've got the smallest amount just there. So scared. And I think what I'm going to do is try it in the middle first, because I'm going to be cutting out the middle. Okay, no, I don't mind it too much, actually. And if I dab some of it away, you'll just get the lightest. Okay, no, that's not too bad. All right. So that is the Pine Needles Distress Oxide that I've used there. Okay, so I like that. And I don't think I am going to add any black soot, because I think I will go around the edges in the black soot. Now, I'm going to go dry this. Once it's dried, it often ends up very crinkled. And what I like to do, especially if I'm doing a project like this, is I then like to iron it flat, because then I can work with it as it was instead of having crinkle. So I'm just going to go dry this with my heat gun, and I will be back. Okay guys, so there we go. That's it dried. Oh, I just love it. It's so yummy. And ironed, so it's nice and flat again. So first thing I need to do is I need to fold this in half. It's always harder to do this on camera because I can't really see where I'm folding, which is why using a scoreboard is the better idea, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to burnish that down. That ripping a little bit. Okay, so that's good. Let's trim those corners off. And then whilst we're at it, let's get some black soot distress ink. And I'm going to go around those edges with the black soot. And then we're going to start working on, oh, it's so delicious. Look at the distress. Yeah, adding that green just added a little something. Makes me think more of mold as well. Yummy. Hope none of you are eating. Mold, yum. So now I have this photo frame out of the kit, and I've used glossy accents on it and left those to dry overnight. Now basically I need to put this in here, and I need to grab my pencil, and I want it, sorry, best to talk without the pencil in my mouth, isn't it? So this is where the aperture of the photo frame is. Let's just make sure I keep that. I'm just going to put a T up here so I know that that's the top, so that I know that when I turn that over, that should match. But I actually, so that's the bit that's going to show. So I need to cut. Do I need to cut any bigger than that? Thinking about it. Yeah, this is the bit that's going to show from that. I can cut a bit more if I wanted, but basically that. So let's get my craft knife and a little metal ruler. Thinking if I cut, that should be fine. If I need to make another cut, I can. So it's not a problem. Just going to cut that. I mean, I could cut it a little bit wider anyway. It wouldn't matter because we're going to have the frame. Sorry, I was checking where that was, so I went quiet. So I'm going to kind of cut this and hope it's about right. Can always ink any white edges as long as there's no edges coming out over the photo frame. So sometimes it's better to do it. My craft knife blade needs replacing. Sometimes it's better to do it a bit wider. Yeah, I need to replace this craft blade. I just really love this idea of the two images. I mean, it's just so creepy and fun, and two things I like. I'm going to keep that because it's a fun scrap. So let's see if this is okay now. That's going to be the top. Okay. We need to, if I was to move that over a little bit, okay, we need to just trim bit more. Kind of here and here. Need to make sure this is straight whilst I'm doing that. Down here and here. That's okay. That's what scissors are for. Come in. Like I said, you can always cut it a bit wider. As long as you don't cut the aperture so wide that it's bigger than this, because I need a little bit all the way around this to glue. So as long as you don't cut it wider than your frame, that's fine. Like so. And then, yeah, I can ink it, which, you know, ink, it hides a lot of things, which is just one of the many reasons we love it. Let's see how that goes. Okay, that's much, much better now. Much better. Okay, I am going to ink the inside of this just to make sure that if anything does show, it looks more like it's part of the frame, because I've inked the whole of the frame in black soot distress ink as well, and I really want a good amount of distress ink on there. Like so. Now, here's the bit that gets fun but also a little bit tricky. So I have an image, this creepy little twin set, isn't that what people call pearls? That needs to go behind here. It needs to come down enough that when the frame's on, we see the tops of those girls' heads. So there is where it's going to go. And I need to now mark that. This thing I need to be more precise with. It's not even straight. I need to be more precise with because of what I'm doing. So I want these creepy little girls. I mean, bless them. Maybe they're not so creepy. I mean, if these, I'm guessing these were actual people, and here are us years later using them in our crafts going, oh, aren't these people creepy? Whereas maybe they were very, very lovely people. I mean, that's a bit weird to think about, isn't it? In years to come, will people look at some of our old family photos and think, wow, how creepy. Actually, I do have some old family photos of relatives from the 1800s who, late 1800s and early 1900s, who, sorry relatives, but they do look a bit creepy. So the girls are on there now, and the frame will go on top. Like so. So I'm going to attach the frame now because I'm worried it's going to take some time to dry. And then, don't know what that is on there. Might be some glossy accent. I'm trying, actually, thinking about it. I can't have it too near the aperture, just in case I've cut wider than the aperture, and then the next thing you know, it's going to be glued onto the inside of the tag, which can't have that. So I'm going to glue around the edge of this, and then I'm going to glue around this aperture. And then I'm just going to smush that with my finger to make sure it's flat to help prevent seepage. Then we are going to attach our frame. I did think about using the antique vintage photo embossing glaze on this, but I ended up just going for glossy accents instead because I don't use it that often. I used to use glossy accents all of the time. And and I don't use it that often. So after using it on the other project the other day, I wanted to use it again. Okay, so there is just a little piece I can see. Where did my scissors go to? I'm always moving those scissors. There they are. You can see just a little piece there. It does still look like it's part of the frame, but because I know it's not, it's bothering me. Okay. There we are. So there is our lovely girls. Now that would be a pretty tag, just is, wouldn't it? But it's me. So I cut out the girls again. Printed out the girls. I'm trying to show you on here. On overhead transparency. So you've got this ghostly effect. Now, this is where I really have to be careful, because I need to match this up exact with my picture. Has to be absolutely exact, and it's always easier to do this when I am looking at it differently. It's their eyes more than anything. I need their eyes and their face perfectly matched. If I got this the right way around. Okay, that was probably the problem. I had it the wrong way around. So make sure you get your image the right way around. That really helps. Now, this is the trickier bit, because I can't have that move at all. So I'm just going to get a paper clip and I'm going to clip it in place in a couple of places. Gosh, I need another paper clip. Where's it gone to? Okay, one just fell. Oh, come on. Why do I have all these paper clips and none of them want to work? You can hear them dropping behind me, can't you? No. And now I'm going to glue on here. Again, slightly away from, I'm looking at where the transparency is. Realistically, I need to glue the transparency. So let's just glue a little bit at this bottom, because we're not going to see a lot of that. A little bit at this side. Again, we're not going to see that. I'm trying not to get it on the card. I just have got it on a bit of the card. Gluing this. And then, as I said, I like to smush mine out because I find it just really... Oh, no! Yeah, I like to smush it when it's not having to stay exactly in place. Okay, let's do this then. Let's hold it. I like to smush my glue because it just means you've got less chance of it actually seeping where you don't want it to seep. Okay, I need to move this. To bring this down, I need to bring this down. Okay, let's open this up. Let's get rid of any glue there. Perfect. Now, obviously this is inside here. I'm not going to stitch around this. I would normally. I mean, because they're matched, unless you really look, it's fine. I already love it. Look. Woo. Anyway, Belle, stop playing. Because it's in there, let's get... Where's my sellotape? Let's get a little bit of sellotape or washi tape, whatever you have to hand. I have this to hand because I was making some of those faux vintage sellotapes. And I need to cut this. I'm going to need to trim it as well, but the bottom one at least can be cut. And this is going to stick this in place. Let's cut this in half. Like I said, normally I would also use washi, but I have this sellotape to hand, and I'm just really making sure it's secure on all sides, because, you know, making sure that glue is really, really stuck down. I was going to tear that then, but Then I remembered I actually need this cut straightish. Okay, well, that's just doing its own thing, so that's okay. No, I can't have this. Oh, I can see the window, can't I? So it's fine. Perfect. I can trim that. I am going to be stitching through this though, so I hope it doesn't mind it, because I don't really tend to stitch through sellotape, because why would I? It's not something I normally use. So let's trim that sellotape off the end of here. Make sure it's really just gone. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to stitch. So because I'm having a tag in the top, I'm going to stitch around here first, and then I'm going to put the tag together and then stitch down the ends. I can still see just a smidge of sellotape. So that's what I'm going to do now, and then I'll be back. So there we go, guys. I've used a zigzag stitch because I think that works better with, because I'm stitching these two together rather than a messy straight stitch. And we've still got an opening here. You can actually see my finger between it. That is really going to have to be inked well, because we're going to see that. I didn't want to add extra paper. Obviously, if I had printed out a backing paper onto this piece of ephemera, that probably would have been best, but I didn't, and it's fine. So we've got our girls. Woo! Hold on. So I think the girls are haunting this tag because they just flew out my hand. So we've got our girls in here, and I have to really, when you're doing something like this, I really had to press the tag down really flat and stitch slowly so that it didn't move, so that it was still going to stay where it was going to stay. Now, where is my, normally I use a bone folder, that won't work. Where's my bone folder? Because I need to make sure, especially as I've used a zigzag stitch, that there is room in here for my tag to go in. So I've taken one of the tags from the kit. I've already backed it. This cute, I say cute. Is it cute? I don't know. And that should fit in there. So I'll show you then how it's going to look. Once this goes in here, and there will be a tab on there, you can see the girls in front of the chair. Do you see that with the wallpaper? So it's almost like there's the picture of the girls, but they appear in front, because now, so this is them when they're alive as a photo. Now they're dead, sad, and they're just haunting the house that they were in. I wanted the chair there. So that's what is going to happen. I was also wondering about adding something onto here, because right now this looks a bit plain, this tag. So I'm wondering, I've got this little image, and this could almost be another family member in the house. Maybe it's one of the girls as they got older with her own husband and child. I don't think I want it on straight, because this house has obviously been abandoned. So I want that. I was even considering crinkling the whole of this background, all the wallpaper. I want it at a slight angle. But my problem is, before that sticks completely, is I don't want it looking over the girls. You're going to see part of the frame, and that is going to interfere with where we see the girls' heads. So before that completely sticks, I'm going to move that up a little bit, just a little bit, so you might see the bottom of it but not all of it. Right, so we're going to have that. It is kind of straightish now. I didn't do that on purpose, it just kind of happened. And I'm going to use my VersaFine vintage sepia, and I've got my weird little dot stamp that I like, that kind of gives me like the foxing effect, And I just think it adds so much. I've had this stamp for ages, so I don't know where I got it from. I've also got a crackle stamp that also works really well in these kind of situations. But I haven't used this for ages, so I thought I would use it a bit more in these projects. But yeah, so that just adds a little something. And I might want to put spirits on the front of here. I was thinking of putting it on this tag, but I don't think I will. So the tag is also going to have a topper on it because we need to be able to pull it in and out of there. So I have all these just random bits of lace here. Like that. And we haven't used that in any of the other projects. So let's just get this little scrap of lace. Like so. We do have a little bit of the grey, which picks up the grey here. Or we have this weird, nope, the grey will do. I like that. I want to pull it and kind of, because I don't want too much of it on there. So I think that's as much as I'm going to do to the front, to the top of this tag, except I am going to ink it a little bit. So I'm just going to stitch that on and I'll be back. Okay, so I ended up stitching that on and I am going to just add some distress ink, a little bit in black because, you know, it's nice, but it's a bit too thingy. And I did end up doing a messy stitch a couple of times around the tag because I just felt like it was almost a little bit... It was a beautiful tag, but it needed something more. And I can't add too much because I need it to go in here. Ah, excellent. If I have it to where this pops out, you don't even see the photo in the background. So there you go. You see the spooky girls and you see the chair through them. And that foxing just adds a little bit more spookiness. Oh, love that. Okay, so now we need to just decorate the front a little bit. So I have some of my die cut flowers. I was thinking black would work. Really? You and black, Belle? No. I do have some in this kind of, in my inks. That goes too. I can use a little bit of the green or the gold on these black flowers. Now, which one do I want to use? I think I want to use the antique gold. So I'm going to use some of that just in places because I still want it to look black. I could even add a little bit more on if I want. I could touch a green. Touch of green. Let's see what the gold looks like first. Oh, I just like that. It just kind of picks it out. Do you see? It just kind of shimmers and picks out the details of the die cut. And that needs a bit more blending up there. Just picks it out. And we do have this. I had it in black as well, I think. I think I have the little black one too. So I could have another black. I know it's a lot of black on black, but let me see which one I prefer. This one? I kind of almost like that, but I think it's because it looks too bright. So let's get our Black Soot Distress ink and just dull that down on the edges a little bit. And then I am wondering about just picking up a tad of green on this flower. Just a smidgels, not too much. Although this one, because it's so juicier than the gold, it kind of picks, even just a little bit goes a long way. So I'm hoping you can see that now, that you can just see the gold and the green. Just gives it a bit more depth. Okay, so that's those, and we are going to stick this down on here. I have to be careful where I'm sticking. It will stick to the laminate. I know because I use this laminate as pockets. in my journal, so it will stick to it, but I really don't want any smudging whatsoever. So I'm going to glue a little bit, and then I'm really going to make sure that I have the excess off the bits that I know might be on the laminate. And then we're going to place this like so. And also it's got to go on that glossy accent. Okay. Trim the bottom. Trim the sides. It's all good. Oh, I like that. And you're like, but it's just like black on black, but it's not, because it's got that shimmer to it. If I cover that up, you see? And then we're going to try this one. See what I think of that one. Yeah, that'll work. I mean, this has got some colour on it, this tag, anyway, because of the red flowers on the tag, on the pattern of the paper. So that's good. Let's add some more flowers there. Doesn't matter if they stick up a little bit. I mean, they could glue to the acetate, but it really doesn't matter. Like so. Love the flowers. Okay, guys, now's where I need to think about what I'm going to do. Oh, before I do that, actually, there is something else I want to add. I wanted to add this bat. One, because I've added a lot of bats. This is a Tim Holtz one. But you see here, there's this pattern, and it made me think of bats. I don't know why. And if I put this bat in just the right place, it kind of blends with the pattern, which makes me feel like it is already part of the wallpaper, giving that weird kind of... So we've got this bit here, and I am going to fit this right here. It gives that weird kind of illusion, again, that maybe the bat is part of the wallpaper. So just up there like that, where it's fitted in that little bit perfectly. Like so. And I do need to glue the rest of the back down now. I just wanted to place it first. I might let it dry first before I do that. Now, I had some book page that I was thinking of using. I might still use it. That's quite cute. I had the word wicked, which actually does work quite well. And I also have the word spirits, because, you know, this is a Release the Craft in digital. I will leave the link down below. I can't remember which one this is from. They do a whole collection of great word sheets. Kind of like, because they are spirits. That's the whole point. So I will leave the link to this one. And yeah, just check out their Etsy shop. I'm using their words a lot because I have a whole collection of them, because I was part of the design team when they had one. I think that goes so well there. Now I'm wondering, do I want lace behind it to pick up the lace up there? I think that kind of goes. And we had some more of the grey as well. And it just kind of picks up what's happening up the top there. Oh yes, I was going to add, like I said, a little bit of book page, because it just adds a little bit of interest. Book page, it's not. Vintage book spine, because I have some of that and I love the texture that adds. Yes, I'm going to add that too. But as beautiful as it is, as grungy as it is, I actually think, firstly, I can rip this in half, I think, and use only half of it, which would be brilliant. I think I'm just going to add some walnut stain onto there. Okay, so these are going to go here. So let's glue this lace down and that. And then I prize these because I only have a little bit, because I haven't removed the spine from many vintage books, even though I use a lot of vintage book pages in my journals. So I use this sparingly because I love the texture so much. Oh, that is just perfect. I mean, it is quite simple in concept, and I'm not doing too much to it, but I think it just works really, really well. I'm going to press that down because there's a lot of layers under there, so that glue really needs to be able to stick to all those layers. And I think I need a bit more glue over here and really just lay itself down. Thank goodness this glue dries clear. Let's hold that side down too. Ah, I'm loving this. So, as I said, this was inspired by 2 videos that I've watched from the Creep on June. I will leave both channels, both of those videos down below. Go check those out. And I'm so excited because I don't get a lot of time to catch up on the videos throughout the week because of one thing and another. But it's the one at the weekend I will be, which when this video goes up it will be the weekend, I will be catching up on all the videos I've missed so far in the collaboration. I mean, look at the texture down there, guys. It's not a lot, but that book page just really adds in that little bit of lace. And then we have the gilding just showing, and you can really see the foxing through those creepy girls, and the bat. Like I said, the bat almost looks like an illusion too. The back is beautifully grungy. We could actually add, thinking of adding some of this on here too, some paper on the back so you could write on it. And then as we pull this out, we just have the girls. We just have the photo of the girls, which again looks lovely just as is. But yeah, we have the girls. This is them when they were alive with their photo. This is the house they lived in. And now they're haunting the house. So they're the spirits in the house. So I really love that, guys. That is day 15. I love how it's come out. It might be one of my favorites so far just because I think it's so playful, but quite simple to put together. So yes, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will be back soon with another video. Until next time, guys, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having lots and lots of creepy crafty fun. Bye.